I know this for a fact in my soul that if I don't film this video right now, this video is not going to go up for a very long time. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khushi Kishore, and today we're going to go over all the books I bought during my 1 month of traveling in India. I went to Kerala, I went to Pune, I went to Bangalore. I went all around and I went to bookstores in each state and I bought books in each bookstore. Are we surprised? Not really. A couple of them were gifts, a lot of them were thrifted and from secondhand stores. And I actually feel really great about the pile that we have. Okay, so let's start with the mountain on the left side. The first one we have is The Palace of Illusions by Chitra, Banerjee, Divakaruni. And I have heard so much about this book. This was a secondhand copy. I got it from a secondhand store. If I had my copy of Kaikeyi with me, which is currently in the UK, I'm in Bahrain right now with my family. If I had Kaikeyi with me, I would read both of these within one vlog, like make it a whole thing, because it has the whole epic Indian stories, retellings, strong female characters, that kind of thing going for both of them. But as I said, I don't have that book here, so. It has received wide acclaim for giving a woman's take on the timeless tale that is the Mahabharata. Big Indian epic, just huge. It is narrated by Panchali, who is the wife of the 5 Pandava brothers, and the novel traces her life from fiery birth and lonely childhood, where her beloved brother is her only true companion, through her complicated friendship with the enigmatic Krishna, to marriage, motherhood, and her secret attraction to the mysterious man who is her husband's most dangerous enemy. The way I've seen this story most described is that it's a deeply human story about a woman who's born into a man's world, and what is more exciting than that? No, actually, cut that. That is not how I meant it. I mean, I think it's going to be a very exciting read. Moving on. Next one, we have Home by Toni Morrison. This is my first Toni Morrison. I have already read this and I will update you more about that in a later video. For now, all I want to say is, damn, it was an experience. People weren't kidding when they said Toni Morrison's writing is something to look out for. I truly did enjoy the writing. I also believe Toni Morrison was awarded the Nobel... There we go. Toni Morrison was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1993. She was the author of many novels, including The Bluest Eye, Sula, Beloved, Paradise, and Love. She received the National Book Critics Circle Award and a Pulitzer Prize for her fiction, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, America's highest civilian honor, in 2012 by Barack Obama. Toni Morrison died on 5th August 2019 at the age of 88. Wow. Honestly, the first Toni Morrison I ever wanted to read was Sula, because I'd heard so much about it, especially from Jack Edwards' channel. But Home was the one I found in that secondhand bookstore, and I took it home with me. Then, what do we have? Okay, don't judge me. I know... After the whole Twisted series that I read by Anna Huang, I was like, I don't necessarily need to read the Dreamland Billionaire series to know what would go down, because it just sort of feels like the same kind of thing. But I bought the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I did it. I do not know why. It was there and it was cheap and it was a secondhand copy that looked pristine. Like, it is in great condition and I couldn't just not. Okay, there are no excuses. Look, man, I got it. I don't necessarily want to say that I'm over the top excited for this book, because I'm not sure that I am, but there is a small voice inside my head that's saying, now that I've bought the first book, I might as well buy all the others and just read the whole series and let you know what I think of it and tell you if it was worth my time. I don't know. Let me know if that's a video you want to see. So in this, we have Rowan and Zahra. I really like that name. He's in the business of creating fairy tales. I think he owns like this big theme park and fancy hotels and stuff. And everything will be his once he renovates this theme park called Dreamland. And he decides to hire people to help him with that. Zahra is one of the people he hires. And he hires her after she sends him a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride. Next, we have Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. And I have heard so much so much about this book. And just the title in itself, because I would consider myself a young poet, a baby poet, a fledgling, whatever, you get the idea. Bella from Throne of Pages has hyped this book up so much that I saw it in the bookstore. And this was not in a secondhand bookstore. This was like a proper bookstore, full price. And I couldn't help myself. I got it. Come on, it's so small and it's for me. It's addressed to me. This is how I justify all my bookish buys. Oh my god. Go within and scale the depths of your being from which your very life springs forth. At its source, you will find the answer to the question whether you must write. Accept it, however it sounds to you without analyzing. Perhaps it will become apparent to you that you are indeed called to be a writer. Then accept that fate, bear its burden and its grandeur without asking for the reward which might possibly come from without. This is gonna be so sick. Next is another book I have already read, and Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Fredrik Backman. Again, I will tell you about this book and what I thought about it in depth later, but just let me say, this was my first ever Backman, and I am so glad that I have more of his work waiting for me in my house in the UK. I have anxious people and I'm so excited to get to it because I love the writing. I love the way he explored the topics of grief and losing someone and old age and learning to let go, but also having strong bonds as you are doing that. I flew through it. I enjoyed it very much. I definitely want to read more of Backman's work after this. Then we have Circe by Madeline Miller. Guys, I did it. I know I'm late to the party. I know I'm very late to the party. Everybody and their grandmother has been raving about this book. And I have been the one person that literally goes, Circe, who's that? I don't know who that is. I haven't read that book. I can no longer say that anymore because I own a copy, which means I will read it and I will be part of the fan club. Hopefully. It's been insanely hyped up, and y'all know when a book is that hyped up, it makes me a little nervous. This was again bought in a secondhand store. This is a secondhand copy. It still looks really great and the price was just awesome. I had to get it. The only thing I would say is there are a couple of spelling errors in the back in the synopsis. Like in one place where they're supposed to say Circe, they spell her name with C-A-R-C-E, so like Carcy, I don't know. While normally that would throw me off completely and I just wouldn't buy the book because I am spoiled like that. I just thought it added more character to my copy. Maybe this is my character arc. Maybe this is my character evolution. I don't know, but I thought it added character and I just went ahead and got it. The first ever Ali Hazelwood book and the only other Ali Hazelwood book I have read is The Love Hypothesis. It's about women in STEM. It was funny. It was cute. I gave it 3.5 stars. As far as I remember. I was not particularly drawn to some of the other titles that came up after that one, but something about love theoretically really called to me. I thought it would be a cute, fun read while I was traveling, during my flight and the bus rides and the car rides and the auto rides. I thought it would be a good idea to take a fun little rom-com with me. This is once again about women in STEM, romance within that community, and just being a woman within that community. But yeah, I read it. I finished it pretty quickly actually. And it was a decent read. It was a fun time. Then we have another Indian name. And I don't know, something about being in India, going to all these bookstores, seeing so many Indian authors and their works in those shelves just made me want to pick up more Indian stuff. I decided to pick up my first ever Mulk Anand book. It's called Untouchable. I only know very little about this author. I know only as much as my father has mentioned before. He used to read this author's work and he would keep telling me to get into it as well, and I just never did, but I guess I am now. Bakha is a proud and attractive young man, but as an untouchable, he is an outcast in a system that is against him by design. A sweeper and latrine cleaner in pre-independence India, he is subject to humiliation and hardship at every turn. But the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi in town one day ushers in an idea that could change Bhaka's life forever. With immense skill, vitality, and barely disguised fury, Mokraj Anand powerfully recreates a single day in the life of an untouchable in colonial India. This whole book is just about a single day. I didn't know that. That is actually very cool. I don't think I've ever read any other books like that. Like I said, I'm trying to get into more Indian work, so I'm really excited to read this. Okay, I have seen this book a lot on social media, but I haven't seen it in person in a bookstore ever. And I just happened to be walking by a second-hand bookstore in India while I was street shopping, and I saw this and I decided I would get it. This is I Fell in Love with Hope by Lancali. Apparently, they've sold over 2 million books and it's a bestseller. I did not know any of this. I do not remember what this is about, so let's just find out together. Time will seize, disease will fester, death will die. Against the unforgiving landscape of a hospital, I broke the one rule dying people must always follow. I fell in love. I fell in love with a mischievous, sun-eyed boy who became my only joy in such a desolate place. That's what made it all the more soul-crushing when he committed suicide in front of me. Oh my god. Since then, I've sworn never to love again, with 3 exceptions. Before death inevitably knocks down our doors, my thieves and I have one last heist plan. A great escape that would take us far from abusive parents, crippling loss, and the realities of our diseases. I have a feeling this is gonna hurt a bit. If this book turns out to be good, it's gonna hurt. Okay, we need to speed this up because I have a lot of books. Then I got Daughter of the Pirate King in one of the airports because I have this tradition where if I'm traveling, I try to buy a book from the airport that I can read during my flight. It's just a thing I've been doing since I was 13 or 14 years old. I was called to keep the tradition going. So this is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. I gave this about 3 stars. When they said you're meeting your female Jack Sparrow, I kind of expected a bit more chaos. Like, don't get me wrong, Alosa was really cool. Like, the main character, she was very cool. And for most of the book, I was not bored. But I did expect more Jack Sparrow because that's what they said we would get. And Jack Sparrow, as you know, is just chaos in a person. Anyway, I'm not trying to make this into a review. I'm just letting you know I bought it and I've read it and it was a decent time. Next is a book that I have seen Jack Edwards talk about. I have seen a lot on social media, and the first time I ever saw it was in a bookstore, and the title, it just had me. It got me, it reeled me in. I knew I wanted it ever since I saw it then. And I finally got it during this trip, and it is Send Nudes by Saba. Just look at that cover. It's so cool. Apparently it was shortlisted for a bunch of prizes as well. So in this book, we get 10 dazzling stories where Saba Sams dives into the world of girlhood and immerses us in its contradictions and complexities. Threading between clubs at closing time, pub toilets, drenched music festivals, and beach holidays, these unforgettable short stories deftly chart the treacherous train of growing up, of intense friendships, of ambivalent mothers, of uneasily blended families, and of learning to truly live in your own body. I fell in love as soon as I read that synopsis. It sounds amazing. It sounds like something I want to be reading right now. I am really happy that I finally own a copy of this book. Then I was stupid. I was so stupid. I mean, I'm very glad I have this book, but this is not the first book of this series. I believe the first book of the series is called A Psalm for the Wild Built, and it's about this monk and a robot, and that's all I really know. I have heard so many good things from channels all across BookTube and Instagram and BookTok. Ali from Alice in Pages, the Peruse Project, so many big channels have just been going on and on about this book, about this series, and I wanted to read it. So I saw it in an airport, in a different airport, and I bought it. But I was in a hurry and I didn't realize this was the second book, so now I'm gonna have to wait till I can order the first book in paperback, because I'm sorry, there's no way I'm getting one as a hardback and one as a paperback. So I'm gonna have to wait till it comes out in paperback, order it in paperback, read that first, and then get to this, which honestly is a little torturous. Next we have Papillon. How do I say this without offending a whole group of people or multiple groups of people. Papillon, butterfly, because I'm sure that's what it translates to, by Henri Charriere. I have never heard of this book before. Apparently it's a movie as well now. I knew about the story and the person, but I never knew about the book. Don't ask me how that works. It's just how it was. But now I have the book. Sadly, I think this is the movie cover, which really upsets me. I do not like movie covers on my books, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it because the original cover wasn't available and this was a secondhand book. And for the most part, it's in pretty decent condition, so I just took it. And it's floppy. Like, a real floppy boy. So it's a best-selling memoir. Henri Charriere, known as Papillon for the butterfly tattoo on his chest, was convicted in Paris in 1931 of a murder he did not commit. Sentenced to life imprisonment in the penal colony of French Guiana, he became obsessed with one goal: escape. As he should. After planning and executing a series of treacherous yet failed attempts over many years, he was eventually sent to the notorious prison Devil's Island, a place from which no one has ever escaped until Papillon. Apparently this book came out 20 years after his final escape, and it's a treasured classic, and it immediately did amazing. Also, he escaped and he got married and opened a restaurant. As he should. Good for him. Now, I know this is not the pretty version of this collection. Look, man, I just want to read it. I went ahead and got myself a secondhand copy of this beauty over here, not the cover, but I'm pretty sure the words inside will be very beautiful. Not to insult the cover, I'm sorry, but there's not much going on here that I like. I got it at such a beautiful price, and it's basically brand new. It's still in its plastic cover. I didn't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, so I just bought it. I have not necessarily read any of Khalil Gibran's work. I started The Prophet a while back, and then I believe I misplaced the copy. I don't really know what happened, but I've read a couple pages of The Prophet and immediately fell in love, and ever since then this has been on the list. Many of these were gifts that were given to me by friends when we went shopping together, and they'd offered to buy me a book because it is my birthday very, very soon. In fact, the day I'm filming this, my birthday is in 10 days. I turned 21 this year. I am really excited. If you would like to wish me or buy me a book from my Amazon wishlist, which is not necessary, but you know, shameless plug, I like books. You all know that. I have my Instagram and my Amazon wishlist linked down below. Go to town, have fun, do something with it, don't do anything with it. Perfectly fine. Just you guys being here watching this video is pretty damn amazing for me. All of that aside, this was another gift that I got. This is Eden on Earth by Dhaval Sonsoyo. I have never heard of this book before, but it was given to me by a friend, and I really want to see what they saw in it that they wanted me to have as well. I believe the story is basically just a magical realist adventure set in India. It's all about enlightenment and this man trying to better himself and better his life. I believe. I have started reading this. I'm literally only 5-6 pages in. I will let you know how it goes. We're at the final 3 books. I am running out of breath. Is that even possible? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's a phrase. We have Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I did it. I finally got my hands on a copy. A secondhand copy that is once again in pristine condition. Okay, ignore that. That happened in my suitcase. Trust me, I am cursing myself for it. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this story. It's a love story. It's very hard-hitting. It's very emotional. Apparently, you would want to be annotating this book because that's how good it is. I genuinely can't wait. It just sounds so cool. I would read the whole synopsis out to you guys, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna pop up in one of my other videos, so you'll be hearing about it anyway. Oh, I've been wanting this book for ages. I can't lie, there's a part of me that really wants to hunt down the original copy, like the white one, the really simple one. I'm so happy for what I have. Oh, my suitcase really did a number on this, didn't it? Don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Then we have 2 poetry collections. I just had to. We have Devotions by Mary Oliver, and in the floppiest form I could ask for. Look at that. Excuse me. Mary Oliver is described to me as nature's biggest simp, as Bella from Throne of Pages says, and I am ready. I am ready to jump in and love her work as much as the world seems to. even this cover, it just takes my breath away. I don't know why, but the cover is really doing things for me. I cannot wait. This is gonna be such a great time. I love writing poetry, but I also just really enjoy consuming other people's work. So I'm trying more and more to allow myself to do that and read more poetry collections from a variety of places and people, just to see what's out there, learn more, I guess. And finally, we have The Essential Rumi, translations by Coleman Barks, and apparently it's some sort of expanded edition. Please ignore what my suitcase did to this beautiful copy. It was perfect when I bought it from the secondhand store, but it is now a little bit injured and it hurts my heart. Just a teeny bit. A lot more than a teeny bit. I have never ever read any of Rumi's works before this. I think it's gonna be eye-opening. I think it's gonna be a whole new world. I think it's gonna change me, because that is what Chloe from Chloe Bunny says. That is what so many other booktubers I follow say. And it's just time, you know, it's about time that I read work from such a big name. Those are all the books I bought during my 1-month trip to India. I have officially graduated college and it's my birthday month. It just feels like the right month for me to be getting more books. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I have so many cool books to read. I have been reading such amazing stuff. I have so much more material to dive into. It just makes my heart unbelievably happy. And I'm just so glad I get to come on here and rant about books, and there are people who actually listen. Like, that is a little crazy. But yeah, thank you so much for clicking on this video, for watching, for staying until here if you have. If you have, then let me know down below. Have you read any of these books? Do you want me to read any of these books in a particular video? Just in general, what have you been doing in life? I like talking to you guys. I respond to all of my comments. Thank you so much once again for clicking on this video, for all the support and love you show me. We have officially hit about 400 subscribers, I believe, which is pretty cool considering I don't have a very consistent posting schedule anymore. Don't come at me. I am gonna say stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I will see you very soon in the next one.